Hello everybody, T-Jockey here, and welcome back to part 35. This part will be released a bit later on Friday than usual. I've been so busy today. Anyway, in this tutorial what we're going to be doing is creating the in-game pause menu. Now what we're going to be doing is I've done a few tweaks, but I'm going to have to edit it. What I've done is I've created a player score script, and in this script it has everything I had in the HUD right here. The reason for this is I wanted to add extras like enemy killed in here and have different variables, which I'm going to be tweaking later on. What I need to do, however, is I need to put it in the level. So what I need to do is I need to go to my level here, create an empty, and just call it game manager. I'm going to drag player score onto it. And my GUI skin. And then click play. And I have my score. I've also added in my weapon fire, I've added that it plays the weapon empty sound here at the same cooldown as the actual fire rate, but like before. In here saying and weapon is empty is true. So you just copy this and do weapon empty being true, because we're using the same ball here as we have that you need to reload the weapon. Just small tweaks. I've also moved all of these messengers that add listeners, I've moved them into the start function. This will make more sense later on, but at the moment for the player HUD, the weapon fire, and another script we're going to be making, it's all going to be in the start function. Now, what we are going to be doing is we need to add the player score script. Here we are. So we've got this player score, and we've got all the what happens when you pick it up, and what happens when you pick up all the coins and everything in here. What I am going to be doing is going through basically adding all the main menu. Now there's going to be a few things we're going to need. Now I'll need to create a new C# script. I'm going to create a new C# script, and I'm going to call it in-game menu. Now if you attach that in-game menu to the game manager, make sure it's on there, it is. Now open it up. Now that that's in here, we're going to need to create a few public variables. So at the beginning we're going to say public game object, and we're going to call this one player object, and then public game object weapon object, and we're going to say a public game object player score. Now I'm going to also create a ball as well. Public ball. Actually, I'll put that private. I don't need to put public. Ball, and I'm going to say is in-game menu active. And for now, it says false. Now what we can start doing is, if we go into our main menu script, in here we have pretty much what we need. So if we click and copy all of this, including the button sound for the public variables, go to our in-game menu and paste them in here. Now what we're not going to need this current level. We're not going to need, actually, yeah, we are going to need these. We need the camera. We don't need the are you sure menu, the stats. We don't need that. We don't need the new game, load game. So yeah, first menu, achievements, options, gameplay, graphics, and audio. Yeah, they're the ones we need. We don't need the player name string. We need the main title. We need the first menu. We don't need the current player. We don't need new game. And we don't need new load game. We don't need stats here. Now up here we're going to need to add a few using statements. So we're going to say using system.collections.generic. This is for our list variables here. And in here we're also going to be using Unity standard assets dot characters dot first person. Under here also say using Unity engine dot scene management. This so we can change the levels. So if we want to go back to main menu, that'll work. We've got this because we want to be able to disable the movement of the character and the HUD when it goes into the options. Now I'm going to change a few of these because that way they don't conflict. So I'll say that's 3, that one's 4, that's 5, and I'll put this one as 6. Now in the main menu title, that's fine, I'll leave it exactly the way it was, except just change this, say in-game menu title ID, and that's going to be in-game menu title window rect. And we can change this to in-game menu window rect. However, now I don't need it that high. In this I don't actually need that as high because we don't have as many buttons as we do have in the main menu. And I believe I tested this earlier and it was 178, I believe that was. Right there being the perfect height for this menu. And after all this, in the start function, we need to go back into our main menu, go back to start, and then we can copy this here, this for loop for our achievements. Main menu, underneath that we don't need to it's still controlled by the audio video scripts, we don't need to do that. We do need that though. We do need all of these achievement variables here. And then the update function, oh, actually to be fair, I think down here I also want to add the player object equals game object dot find game object with tag, and this is called game controller, I believe. So that's now registered the player object. Now if I go to here and click the FPS controller, yes, it is game controller with a tag. Now I'm going to update. Now this is where we're going to actually use to activate the menu. So I'm going to say if input dot get key down key code dot escape. I'm going to say underscore in-game is in-game menu active, yep, is equal to not equal to underscore is in-game menu active. And in here I'm also going to say underscore is first menu equals not equal to underscore is first menu. It's basically if you push escape and it's false, it becomes true, and if it's true, it becomes false. It's basically a switch, so we don't actually have to create more than one if statement. We just keep hitting the button, the menu will turn on and off. Which reminds me, that one I want to say false to begin with, because we don't want the menu showing up straight away. Now what we're going to do is in here as well, we're going to say if is in-game menu active equals true, then have an else statement underneath here. And if it is true, we're going to say player object dot get component player hood dot enabled equals false. Player object dot get component first person controller dot enabled equals false. And then we need player I did add that up here, didn't I? Oh, weapon object. Weapon object dot get component, and I believe I called it weapon fire. I did. Dot enabled equals false. This is so you can't shoot your weapon accidentally when you click the menu buttons. And then underneath here I want to say player score dot get component player score dot enabled equals false. Because we already save our score and everything, that's fine. This is just disabling the in the top of the screen. It's not actually getting rid of your score. We also need to say cursor dot lock state equals cursor lock mode dot none, and we also need to do cursor dot visible equals true, and under here we need to say time dot, and it is timescale equals 0. Now basically what this is doing is we're getting the player hood script from our game object, our player. We're getting the first person controller from our player. We can't get this if we don't add the using statement at the top for standard assets. And we're saying that's not enabled, and we're also saying the weapon fire is not enabled, so we don't shoot, we don't look and move, and we don't see the HUD. This player score here is also a separate entity at the top right. This is so you can't see that either. And lock state is so it shows the cursor and it doesn't confine the cursor to the center of the screen. Now if we copy this, put it there, we're going to say true on here, just copy the true. And false for the and I believe that's locked, yes, there we go. So this now when we hit escape again, it locks our cursor to the center of the screen. You can't see the cursor, mouse cursor anymore, and it enables all the HUD, the shooting, the movement, everything. And it also, if we put timescale to 1, it unpauses the game. Now what I'm going to do is under here, I'm also going to say underscore is first. Do I put is first menu? No, I don't need to put his first menu because it's up here turning itself on and off. But that's with the escape key, so yeah, I want to say underscore is first person menu equals false, underscore is achievements menu equals false, underscore is options menu equals false, underscore is gameplay options menu equals false, underscore is graphics options menu equals false, underscore is audio options menu equals false, and I believe that's it. So that there, the update function. Now we need to also create a void on GUI. Don't be disconcerted if you see this red underlined here, it's just that we haven't copied all of the menu stuff in just yet. Now on the void on GUI, we're going to be going back to our main menu here, and then we're going to copy the game skin, and with the game skin we're going to need the first menu, and we're going to need achievements, and we are going to need options. And what we are going to do in here is underscore in-game main title window rect, and underscore in-game main menu window rect, in-game window rect, and that's going to, I'm going to call that in-game menu layout, and I'm going to call that pause to title display, and it's going to, here's not going to say coin collector anymore, it's going to say game paused. And then I also need to change this, underscore in-game, there you go. Achievements display is fine, that's fine, that's fine now. I am going to need to create a few more, so go public, void, and let's create the pause tile display. And that's an int, and then I'm going to copy this, just so it displays. Now under here, we'll do a public, void, and then in-game menu layout here, and int, and then copy this again, first menu, and then let's do that there. Now in here what we're going to need is to go to the main menu. We don't need the current user, we don't need the game title anymore. The main menu layout, however, we do need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and copy all of that there. Go back to our main thing and then I'll put it all here. Now I'm not going to say this is a new game, I'm going to say resume. Resume game. Underscore first menu is false, new game menu is true. Nope. Don't need current levels. What I'm going to say though is underscore is in game is false. So pushing that button turns the first menu to false and the in-game menu to false. Now load game we don't need, so that's 52 here, and then we could just delete that. So we've got achievements, so this enables the achievements menu, which is fine. Player stats we don't need, but we do need the options. So I'm going to say that's 136 here, and delete that. This is not quit, I'm going to say exit to main menu. And then in here I'm going to say scene manager dot load scene and then main menu. And now what we need to do is we need to start copying some more. So underneath here, if I go to my main menu, we don't need the new game, we don't need the load game. We do need the achievements though, so we're going to copy the achievements. We need the add achieve as well, and we need the achievement contains. So we'll just copy all of that and put that in the main menu, in the in-game menu, sorry. And then underneath that we also need to grab the options. So if we leave stats alone and we have the options display here, and copy all of that. We can save that. At the bottom here, that's fine. We all know this script works anyway. Player name we don't need, so this is, we don't need this here. So we don't actually need gameplay. Actually no, gameplay has a mouse sensitivity in there. So if I move the mouse sensitivity there to 150, 155, 150, and then I delete this rename player stuff because we don't need that anymore. Save that. And that should be fine and should work. I don't think there's going to be any bugs with that. So if we go back in here, well, let us know. And there's nothing popped up. So this game manager we have all of here. Now the player object is going to be our FPS controller. The weapon object is going to be our weapon. The player score is going to be game manager. The game skin is going to be game skin here. The game camera is going to be the first person character. And the button sound, we do have a button sound from before, so we're going to use that again. Now we need to go edit, project settings, script execution order. Now we need to add this in-game menu script to our execution, so it appears after the main menu and after the achievements database. Now click apply. Now what we need to do is in here we actually do need the achievement database. So if I file, save the scene and save the project, if I go into my main menu and I copy this, if I go back into our test level and I paste it in here, we have achievement database now. So that's good. Never click play. I'm running around, shooting, reloading. If I hit escape, comes with a menu. I don't have an options button here though. I need to find that. Oh, it's really low. I need to edit that. Where are you? Options button. Options. That's 52. That should be 94. And then that exit to main menu is 136. There we go. Does that work? Now if I jump and hit escape, I'm stuck in midair. That's good. The game's paused. If I go resume game, there is no audio source attached. Who would have thought? Now game manager, add component, audio source. There we go. Click play again. If I jump and hit escape, yeah, I'm stuck in midair. Now if I click resume game, that works. My score in my menu is back. If I click achievements, my achievements are here. Ooh, well, I don't worry about that. I'm in a hot as hell room, and my fan speed will kick up soon anyway to counteract the temperature rise. If I click back now, click options, gameplay, got my sensitivity in there. Let's see if that actually works. Change it to 15. Whoa. Anyway, go back to options, gameplay, sensitivity. So we've got our options in here and everything. Yeah, just imagine playing a game like this. This is trippy. I believe the default's 60. And we have the exit to main menu, which works as well. Now, there's a couple of tests. The first one, when you hit the reload button, 25. If I go out of the menu, that's fine. So if you didn't add the messengers into the game, the ammo would shoot double, then triple, because it keeps on, because it was in the enable function. The listeners were, it creates multiple listeners, so it executes the script multiple times. So when you shoot, if you pause the game 6 times, it's going to use 6 bullets, because it creates 6 instances of the listener when you pause the game and resume the game. So that's why all of the messenger listeners I've put into the start function instead of the unenable function. Resume game. Oh, I just found a bug. I've been playing around with the jumping height and the speed and everything, and I've kind of broke my level a bit. You can also add a button there that says restart level, which basically just reloads the same level. Now what I want to do is I want to create a couple of prefabs. So game manager here, I'm just going to drag the game manager on the game, replace that game manager. The achievement database, yeah, I'll create another one for the achievement database as well. So if I go prefabs, create prefab, achievement database, and then drag that on there. Can get rid of that achievement database there. There we go, we got achievement database. So if you go into your FPS controller, make sure everything's applied because it is the prefab we're using. If we go files, save scene, files, save project, and we go into our test level 2, say, and then we drag the achievement database onto the screen, we also drag the game manager. So the game manager might miss the camera, so you need to go into your FPS controller and grab your camera, and it wants your player as well, which is the FPS controller, and it wants your weapon, so go drag the weapon in there as well. And that's done, you just click apply. Then when you click play, you can pause the game. You can view your achievements, options, everything. Anyway, like I said, that's the in-game menu done. The next couple of tutorials will just be like showcasing the levels I've made, what you can do. If there's any tweaks and changes and any fixes that I've got to make a video on, I will. If anybody finds a bug, please comment to me and tell me that you found the bug, and I'll be happy to help. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been T-Junkie, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.